All right, guys, today we are learning about our last region of the United States for geography. We are learning about the West. So we're going to take a train tour of the West. So the West, if you look at the compass, it includes the states in the west on the western coast of the United States. So to the north of the West region is Canada, to the south is Mexico, and further to the west is the Pacific Ocean. All right, the states included in the West region are in orange. So these are our states in the West region. We have Alaska, that's way up here by Canada, Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and we have Montana. So today our train will drop us off so we can visit two more national parks found in the West. We have the Rocky Mountain National Park and Yellowstone, and we'll learn about how earthquakes have changed the state of California. So here's a map of our 419 national parks that we talked about yesterday. So all of the pictures of the trees are the different national parks that you can find around our country. Our first stop is at Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone National Park is America's first national park. It is in Wyoming and sits on top of a dormant volcano. It is home to some of the most unique landforms on Earth, such as mud pots, geysers, hot springs, and waterfalls. The park also protects the plants and animals that live there. So remember yesterday we talked about how national parks keep the land and the animals and the plants safe, so that people cannot build buildings and houses and businesses on that land. One of the most famous features in Yellowstone is Old Faithful. This geyser got its name because it is easy to predict when it will erupt next. The geyser shoots over 100 feet in the air. So you see this is Old Faithful that's shooting, and it shoots over 100 feet in the air. It is hard to believe that one place holds so many natural wonders. So we are going to click the picture to learn more about this amazing place in the United States.
The batter stood in wonder there on that fateful day, gazing at the legend making tools that were displayed.
Get your engagement ring at JamesAllen.com, because when she looks at that ring, she's gonna see.
Okay, so now we got to see some of the beautiful sights and some of the animals that live in Yellowstone National Park. So now we're going to look at our next stop, which is Rocky Mountain National Park. Rocky Mountain National Park is a perfect place to visit if you want to see the Rocky Mountains up close. The park was started in 1915 and takes visitors past mountains, lakes, waterfalls, and evergreen forests. So the Rocky Mountains run from Canada, if you see up here, Canada through Colorado, Nevada, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and New Mexico. So they run all the way through here. The Rocky Mountains are over 3,000 miles long, and they are home to over 1,000 types of wildflowers. They are called the Rocky Mountains because they're so jagged and rocky. The snow-covered peaks are so high that trees cannot grow there. So now we're going to watch a video about the Rocky Mountain National Park. Okay, now that we have looked at the Rocky Mountain National Park, let's take our last stop to San Francisco. San Francisco is in California, and this beautiful city is home to the Golden Gate Bridge. This is the Golden Gate Bridge, the legendary prison Alcatraz, and the row of homes made famous on the TV show Full House and Fuller House. So there's Alcatraz, and that's the houses. If you watch Full House or Fuller House, that you'll see at the beginning of the TV show. That is in San Francisco. Deep underground in San Francisco is a very dangerous landform, the San Andreas Fault. This fault line runs the length of California and is responsible for many terrible earthquakes over the years. So we're going to learn a little bit more about this fault line.
So you break those pipelines. Now you're pumping gas into the atmosphere. It doesn't take much to ignite that.
We've passed the 100-year mark since a massive earthquake on the northern part of the San Andreas Fault. In 1906, an earthquake in San Francisco killed 3,000 people and caused fires that burned for 3 days. Half the city became homeless.
The fire probably did more damage to the structures and perhaps to lives than the earthquake itself. But the earthquake itself did a lot of damage. The city hall was brand new and was almost completely destroyed. We know it takes decades to recover from these things. And we know that just from the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. They had their 25th anniversary not too long ago. And the word that I heard from that was that they were just finishing rebuilding some of the buildings in Santa Cruz that were damaged by that earthquake.
And it'll take a while for help to come. We're pretty much at the center of the San Andreas Fault along Big Pine Canyon. If the big earthquake hit, all the roads around me will be impassable.
It affects everyone, and I don't know how you can't, to look at your landscape and say, why not? I mean, why haven't you, it's very boring to just accept everything as being there.
The big one on the San Andreas Fault will happen at any moment. The question is, are we ready?
Okay, so if you notice how much the land changed after the earthquake. So there is a fiction book called I Survived the San Francisco Earthquake, 1906, that was written about the deadly earthquake that they were talking about in the video. It is a historical fiction, and it talks about the effects of the San Andreas Fault. So these are some more pictures of San Francisco. There's another picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. All right, so these are the landmarks that we added to our map. We learned about the Yellowstone National Park, which is up here between Montana and Wyoming. We also learned about the Rocky Mountains and the Rocky Mountain National Park. Remember, we said this comes all the way from Canada, all the way through all these states, down through Colorado. And we learned about the San Andreas Fault, which is a fault line that runs through California, through most of California, where we've had some very dangerous earthquakes. So that is the end of our lessons on the 5 regions. So finish your assignment for today, read your passage, answer your questions about the West region. And we are going to spend the next couple days talking about some different facts and reviewing so that we can take our test on the 5 different regions and the maps on next week.